come on, bounce, bounce, come on, bounce.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel again. Today we are going to be listening out to why Eminem's rap supergroup failed. Now, this video is about Slaughterhouse. If you don't know about Slaughterhouse, basically Eminem put four guys together, who in my eyes are all individually really good rappers, and he tried to make a rap supergroup out of them, and obviously they'll be signed to him. Without further ado, we're gonna get into it. But can you please leave a like, subscribe and share it, and let's see what they have to say.
In hip-hop, one of the great fumbles that puzzles audiences is the grim fate of Slaughterhouse, an all-star team of writers that...
Come on. All-star team of writers, that's what... For me personally, I was excited for Slaughterhouse because look at these guys, man. Look at who we got on the team.
had made their name as the premier battle-ready MCs in the game. The concept of Royce the 5'9", Joe Budden, Crooked I, and Joel Ortiz all banding together to deliver a project was the stuff of the avid hip-hop.
Alright, so if you're a real rap head, you know about these guys, yeah? You know about these guys. Joel Ortiz, you know about him from back in the day. We know about him from what's that song? Hip hop. This is hip hop. I wake up hip hop, go to sleep hip hop, dream about hip hop because I am hip hop. Yeah, that's the track. Yeah. Obviously, we know about Royce the 5'9", and we know about what Royce the 5'9" can do on the track. Yeah, back to back with Eminem. We know Royce. Royce is personally my second favorite rapper. Yeah. But obviously, because Eminem is there, he doesn't get that publicity that he needs for his own self. Because Royce, if you want people to put bars together, Royce will do the job. He's the only person who can go toe to toe with Eminem on the same track. Anyway, Crooked I, we know about Crooked I. And Joe Budden, we don't know about Joe Budden anymore. Oh my god. But you know what? Give credit where credit is due. Joe Budden's got talent. He's got a really good talent for rap. You know, obviously we know about, Pump It Up and Salutations and all them songs back in the day. But he is a battle rapper as well. Not the best battle rapper, but he's a good rapper. He's a good wordsmith. All of these guys are really good wordsmiths right here. Yeah, and this is why Eminem thought, you know what? Put these four together, they will make sick music. But we don't know what happened. Well, I know some of what happened, but let's hear it.
Pop fans' dreams, sparked by each member appearing on a track that birthed the group's eventual moniker. From Joe Budden's 2008 album Halfway House, the news that they were persevering with this experiment whipped lovers of hip-hop into a frenzy. By August of the following year, they'd consolidated their efforts into making a full album that was released through E1.
I listened to that album, but nobody else listened to it. Like, why didn't people not listen to this album? This was good. I'd listen to this. They have got proper bars in there. If you want to hear some of these tracks, I'll go through them if you want. Just let me know down below.
As alluded to in the opening lines of the jubilant sound-off, the group fell into a rhythm and saw themselves as one entity that brought the best out of each individual component.
We fell into this little zone where it was like, I would lay it and give it to Crook, and he would take it, lay it, and then Joel would come right behind him, lay it, and then Joe would just end up last. And that's kind of turned into our formula. We weren't aiming for anything, we were just having fun with it. So we ended up doing like festivals, Rock the Bells, and all of that so soon stuff started happening.
like you're saying, look, these guys, yeah, they're the type of guys that if you're rapping on the beat and you throw the track someone's way, they'll pick it up straight, go on it, throw it to the next person, they'll go on it. Like all of these four, if you listen to their music, you know what I'm talking about. And then on top, you can have Eminem featuring. Nah, man.
From there, things would snowball, leading each artist down a winding and convoluted path that eventually reached its conclusion in April 2018, when King Crooked took to Instagram and rescinded his membership of the group. "I'm no longer a part of Slaughterhouse," the Long Beach, California MC declares in an Instagram video. "I'm no longer a part of that collective. It ain't no beef, it's all love. I wish them dudes nothing but success." In light of Crook's abrupt exit, Royce formally drew the curtain on the project on Twitter. "Done deal, let's all move on. It was fun," stated the Detroit MC, with fans forced to read between the lines of what had led to their untimely demise. Through it all,
Yeah, it was like they're all good, but they just couldn't put something out. Like they just couldn't bring something out together. They can rap all day long, these guys, but it's just they didn't have the right product that the fans wanted. And obviously, with the birth of mumble rap, it's quite hard. It's quite hard. Even Eminem saying he's hurting on these sales because people don't listen to proper music anymore.
there was an unescapable sense that there was unfinished business to be settled. Even when they stalled after 2014's House Rules mixtape, it seemed implausible that there was no way back for four MCs that had such raw talent. But a few years removed from the height of their career, all indications suggest that they were set up for a fall from the beginning. When Slaughterhouse inked a deal with Shady Records in 2011, it seemed like a natural fit. Rather than some random record label swooping in and capitalizing on their name value, they'd opted to work under the watchful eye of Eminem and his manager Paul Rosenberg. Two men that knew how far sheer lyrical ability could carry you in the rap game. But as history has taught us, Shady's track record as a label boss is checkered at best and falls way below his status as a top-tier artist.
But you know what? To be honest, that's true. That's true. Eminem, yeah, is a pure artist, bro. He doesn't feel like, you know what I mean? He doesn't feel like he doesn't feel like he would be on the business kind of things. Do you know what I mean? Like, Jay-Z is more of a business kind of things kind of guy, which is why we know him to be Jay-Z, because, you know, all Def Jam stuff and then, you know, business this, business that. We don't hear about Eminem and business. All we know about Eminem is trap. That's what we know. And I think that's one thing that maybe got in the way, maybe because Eminem is a creator and he's just trying to create. I don't think he's thinking about the other end of the business part of it. And it's not his fault, that's just the way he is. That's why you need a manager.
And in fact, barring the boundary smashing success of 50, to a lesser extent D12 and Obi Trice, he's notched up more losses than he has victories in that department. With previous signings such as Cassius, Stat Quo, and Bobby Creekwater all failing to live up to the potential that they'd exhibited before inking their name on the dotted line.
It's true. All of those people, yeah, what's it? No more D12. You know, that was the power. 50, we know 50's doing his own thing now. We know 50 is the one who's the different one from the bunch. Yeah, the other guys, they didn't quite make it. Yeah, you know, but 50's got more, I don't know, charisma than all of these people.
It seemed as though M really had something to prove when he announced their next phase in 2011. Formed of Slaughterhouse and fellow acquisition Yellow, a press release from the iconic CEO declared that it's the new generation of Shady Records, and we're trying to rebuild our label. It's exciting for hip-hop, and with all these forces coming together, and with what everybody's capable of on the mic, it's gonna be fun. But Fast forward to November 2014, just 5 months after Slaughterhouse released their final project with the House Rules mixtape, it was clear Eminem had already begun to abandon hope on what could have been a seminal group. Reflecting on where the wheels came off of his artist to Detroit News, M claimed that, "I internalize it. I try to figure out why. Because when somebody comes to our label that we're excited about, you try to figure out, if I'm excited about it, why is it not connecting with over in this audience? You try to figure out why, and you're left scratching your head."
Yeah, now, before he continues, I remember that time, yeah? And I heard about it, and I was really excited. But, I don't know, there was something weird about it. Like, Eminem did try. He did honestly try to promote them in the songs that they were on together, and various like freestyles and things and articles and stuff. Eminem was promoting them. He would actually shout them out. Do you know what I mean? He would shout them out, talk about upcoming work and stuff like that. But they didn't get the traction. I don't know what it is that didn't get the traction. Maybe because they're not on the same level as someone as like Eminem or Jay-Z, or do you know what I mean? They weren't mainstream, like no Drake or nothing. Do you know what I mean? All of these guys, we know about their music, but they're not mainstream guys. Do you know what I mean? You don't see Royce the 5'9" on like the main billboard. Do you know what I mean? Or leading an event. Do you know what I mean? These are not headliners. I think that's the issue. They're not headlining guys, but they're wordsmiths though. Whereas someone like Eminem headline straight, Jay-Z headline straight. So I don't know. That's what I think anyway.
Considering Slaughterhouse's debut album achieved middling sales of just 18,000 in the first week, the more cynical among us could have suggested that the writing was on the wall all along. That said, the distribution afforded to them by Shady Records saw these numbers rise exponentially when it came time to drop 2012's sophomore project, Welcome to Our House. Clocking in at 52,000 in its first week and grabbing the number 2 spot on the overall Billboard album chart, it appeared that, from a numerical standpoint at least, things were on the up for the four wordsmiths. The highest chart position that anyone in the group other than Royce had ever achieved, it seemed as though after years of toil on the underground, these MCs were finally going to reap the rewards. So, where did it go wrong? Well, that answer varies depending on who you ask, but with some common threads that are felt by almost all of them. When Joel Ortiz gave his dissection on Sway in the Morning, the answer was twofold, leaning towards both missed opportunities on their part and a general mishandling of what they had right in front of them as personal interests seeped in.
If I had to keep it 1,000 with y'all right now, management. And I'm going to be that guy that takes it from that perspective.
How did management?
A lot of representation, a lot of ideas, a lot of chefs in the pot, a lot of my guy is the guy after this. A lot of my guy is the guy during this. Hey, what we getting for a show? I think he might be entitled to a bit more. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I like this guy's ideas, but damn, he hit 2 home runs with his last idea. Let me on this idea just because.
Oi, I don't know about this. I haven't heard this. Hey, okay, so it seems like there's a lot of obstacles in their work, as in maybe they make a track and then they're sort of trying to divide up who's gonna get what profit or who's gonna rap when, or a lot of different stuff. This is deep, man.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
The business. Because let's be honest, right? Before I said that, the music was good. So, right, the music was good, right?
Yep.
We rap well.
Yep. You're best in the game.
Okay, so if it has nothing to do with music, then it has to do with business.
In terms of the actual process of formulating music for the project, Joel believed there was conflicting ideas about the vision for what Slaughterhouse should represent. leading to the debate whether they'd remain in their pre-established lane that they had honed their craft in, or aim to transition into uncharted territory in order to emulate their boss's lauded career.
I don't think we have the capability of being whack, us four, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, we have bars. Like, even on one of your non-favorite verses, there's still talent in there.
Still talent in it, yeah.
So we had ourselves, like, in a situation where it's just like, okay, what are we going to do? What music are we going to rhyme over now? Everybody knows that we're on a shady platform. Do we attempt to make records that are stadium and put your lighters up?
Like I'm Not Afraid, that sort of stuff that them does?
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Or do we stay here and, I mean, bar everybody to death on this platform? Management made a couple of those calls, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if they were right, because I look back now and I'm just like, man, Welcome to Our House could have been insane.
Honestly, I think they should have been able to do their own thing within their own management and just do it as artists themselves, produce and do everything on their own with nobody taking their cut or nobody like interfering with their stuff. Because each one of these guys, if you've heard them rap, yeah, they are sick. They're so good. But I'm sure if you start adding people, or it just ruins the whole effect of what they're trying to drop. And obviously, every single bit of work that they did could have been amazing. I think, that first album that they made was amazing. They were just rapping. That's all they need to do, and that's all we need them to do.
I look back now and I'm just like, man, Welcome to Our House could have been insane.
Disheartened by the guidance that only hindsight provides, this niggling feeling that they strayed off the path that they knew themselves to be the most impactful is one that's shared by Royce the 5'9". Although he was no stranger to success before or since with projects such as Prime and the acclaimed Book of Ryan, the renowned MC believes they second-guessed their way out of a definitive album.
It had been a long time since either or any of us had been on major labels. So when we went in and we did all of the first music, everything was just a vibe. It was just a feel. We started looking at the criticism. Will they be able to make songs for the radio? Will they be able to live up to the hype of being signed to Shady and making songs that can be commercially viable?
That's the thing. Those guys there, they don't make radio music. So you gotta know about them. Do you know what I mean? Like, only true fans would know about them because they don't do radio. They're not, and it's not that they don't like it, it's just their kind of talent doesn't flow that way. It doesn't go radio way. There's some songs here and there, but I mean, if you ask people who know about mainstream music from the early 2000s, you tell them Joe Budden, they tell you Pump It Up, and that's all we know about Joe Budden until now. We don't know about Joe Budden anymore, right? These guys don't do radio play.
I think the songs that he decided to pick for the album were just too many of the more commercial sounding songs, and that's just him kind of doing it. I think how he probably would have done one of his own albums, because when he works on something, he gives it his own. He puts the work into it like it's his own project. So we just kind of sat back and we just trusted his judgment on that.
On the other hand, the crew's sole West Coast representative places the blame in a more overt fashion, and it's all heading in one direction. Firmly of the belief that Joe Budden was the impulsive force that spelled the end, King Crooked seem to have taken their conclusion and Slaughterhouse's perceived disloyalty the hardest. Speaking on an...
Already I agree, because Joe Budden likes to chat too much. He likes to talk too much. We know about Joe Budden chatting rubbish, bro. Yeah? And it doesn't make sense, Joe Budden. He doesn't really make sense. Well, let's hear what he has to say.
An episode of Drink Champs, the Compton rapper, who claims to have 3 Slaughterhouse tattoos etched into his skin, saw Joe's negative comments about Eminem's Revival album and his brazen claims of being a better rapper than you this whole decade as a bridge too far. I feel like Joe forgot about the helping hand when he was saying what he was saying. I do not forget solid. That is just not how I'm cut. I never forget solid. So I would think as long as Eminem and Paul did not cross him in any type of way, I would think Joe Budden would have enough respect to be like, yo, I'm not gonna step on the gas on this one. Never one to shy away from a debate, Joe Budden refuted the popular notion that his podcast is the source of all contention between its factions back in May of 2018. Instead, he suggested that there was a fundamental disconnect between himself and the rest of the group's outlook on how to proceed. The Slaughterhouse is...
The thing is, though, Joe can't say that. Because it's more than just... It's when you're working on a group project, it's more than just what you've got to put in. Everybody has to put in their bit and work together to make a product. Right? And this is coming from Crooked. So we know that already, we know that this is true. Anyway.
Issues predate my media career. And everything I'm saying in media, I've said as an active rapper. I was saying what I was saying in music and to the group members. I just don't think I was being received properly. I think every time we got on the phone to try and find a way to make it work, every time they talk about music, I'd speak about music. I already knew what we could do musically. We don't need to talk about that. Going on to define business as anything that makes money, before adding that Slaughterhouse hasn't made any, it's evident that Joe saw their willingness to ride things out as negligent and damaging to both the brand they've built and their individual stock. But what's more, during a special edition of Pull Up with Crook, he inferred that he and his Slaughterhouse brothers were the subject of a long con. I think somebody somewhere made a lot of money, Joe speculated.
Yo. And this is the thing, like, we all listened to that Eminem interview last year when he was talking about MGK, and then they came up, and Joe came up. He thinks somebody made money somewhere. What money, bro? Eminem said, bro, what money did you make? You spent all your budget, and you didn't create anything from it. Where's the money? Yeah, and then you went and used this to destroy the whole group. Making noise all the time. People don't want to hear noise. People want to create, and you're not creating. You're just making noise. Anyway.
I don't think it was you, and I don't think it was me, nor do I think it was Royce, nor do I think it was Joel. That's thought A. Thought B is nobody made money, and the geniuses that I think M and Paul are really mismanaged our brand. For Crooked, one persistent scab that he won't allow to heal is the fate of their third album. Entitled Glass Houses, the project has been left to wither on the shelf since they began work in 2013, and was in such an advanced stage that they were actively discussing their artistic direction and promotional interviews. Deemed to be their most personal yet, during a video with Vibe, one look at the body language exhibited by all four men will let you know that all was not well in the Slaughterhouse camp.
It's true. Look at all of these four guys. They're not on the same page. Look how much space is between Royce and Joe. Yeah. Crooked doesn't look depressed. And Joel Ortiz is on his phone. He's not even in the interview. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is not team. This is not a team right now.
They said all the right things, but the mood is somber and tense, with each member looking thoroughly disinterested by what everyone else had to say. But for Crooked Eye, the album's release is a matter of closure, and as detailed to Talib Kweli's People's Party show, the project met its end when other members couldn't place other things on the back burner and focus on the record.
One member, I don't have no time to do it this summer. Let's talk in November. Then November come around and it's like, you know what? I can't do it now. This other, you know what I mean? And it started being like, okay, this ain't gonna happen.
And while Crook didn't name any names, M gave his perspective to Sway on why the project never hit shelves during the infamous Kamikaze interview series, singling out none other than Joey Jumpoff as the instigator. There was definitely enough to put an album out, but for the most part, it wasn't a complete picture because they weren't on the same page about what their favorite songs were. What I was told, I didn't hear this firsthand, was that Joe said, Slaughterhouse ain't hot right now. We gotta put out a mixtape. Then everybody started doing their own. In conclusion, conflicting agendas and busy schedules spelled the end of Slaughterhouse. And last year, Royce acknowledged the expiration date that lingers over supergroups, citing the projects such as the Four Horsemen, as well as Jay-Z, DMX, and Ja Rule's attempt to also form a supergroup.
Anytime guys try to form like that, they never gave it 2 hours.
See, that last one, yeah, it's good didn't happen because, boy, that would have been so bad for Jay-Z and DMX. You can't do that because, honestly, the type of rapper that DMX is doesn't suit the kind of rapper Jay-Z is, which doesn't suit the kind of rapper Ja Rule is. And obviously, we know what happened to Ja Rule. That group would have been over a long time ago. Anyway.
Albums. We did 2 albums and 2 mixtapes. We did a lot, and I think I'm happy with what we did with it.
This has been a Hip Hop Madness original. Make sure to stay tuned and stay up to date with everything we got.
Alright. So, yeah, post your comments down below. Let me know what you think about Slaughterhouse. Let me know if you've heard their tracks, and if you want me to have a look at some of their tracks, let me know down below. Yeah, I hope you've had a good 2019, and yeah, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Take care.